Paul says it's a calling that every born-again believer has been called to undertake. It's our first calling. It's a ministry out of which all other godly endeavors are birthed. Nothing that pleases God, no ministry that is accepted by God can be birthed in any other way but what I'm going to lay before you today. There is a ministry that you and I have, and out of that ministry comes every endeavor, every other kind of service unto the Lord comes out of this ministry. It's called the ministry of beholding the face of Christ. It's a calling that we all have been called to spend quality time in the presence of Jesus, just beholding. That's quietly worshiping, or it's not just quiet worship. It is dedicated, focused worship. It's time given to Him, just beholding His face. This word beholding is a very serious and strong word that the apostle used. It's not just taking a look, but in the Greek it's fixing the gaze. It's making a decision that I will not move from this position. This is my calling. Before I do anything else, before I try to attempt anything for God, I've got to come out of His presence. I've got to come out with something that I've received in His presence that is changing me. I have been changed. I have not gotten this in a seminary. I have not gotten this from man. I got this alone with Jesus, beholding His face. I have fixed my gaze on Him. I said, this is going to be my life. If my life is to count, I'm not going to sit around saying, what can I do with my life? I'm not going to try to figure out what I can do as a career, for a career. I am going to do the one thing God has called us all to do. Get alone with Him. Stay in His presence. Worship. Behold His face. When you spend time alone with the Lord, He becomes the center and the obsession of your life. You know that you can't get what you need any other place. You can't get it from counseling. You can't get it from friends. You can't get it from husband. You can't get it from wife. And you know that there are trials coming into your life, and you know there are hard times, you know may be in it, and you know the only place to go is into the presence of the Lord. And the Bible said those who spend time beholding Him are transfigured. There's a metamorphosis happening. They are changing. They're being transfigured. Just as Christ was transfigured on the mount. You may not feel it, you may not see it, others may not see it right away, but there's a more metamorphosis taking place. There's a change. Something is happening. The glory of the Lord is being manifest. You cannot choose how that metamorphosis takes place. You can't choose. You say, well, it's a shame. I wish God could change us just by our having happy, painless lifestyles. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could be changed, transfigured into the character of Christ painlessly? I give Him the liberty to do anything He has to do, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, Lord, take your liberty to transform me into the character of Christ. Transfiguration comes primarily through trials and suffering. When Tiffany, we were told she had terminal cancer, and my first thought was Debbie. How will Debbie take it if God takes her? There's never been a day in those 12, 13 years that Tiffany lived, there wasn't a day that I hadn't prayed for her. And my prayer was, Lord, do whatever you have to do to save my children and my grandchildren. She is so tender. Homeschooled. Inseparable. Oh God, I can't see how she can handle it. Debbie was a rock. She was the rock. And I'll tell you why she was the rock. Now her husband, Roger, too, solid as a rock. for the last 30 days, and our family coming and going. And Debbie was a spark plug, the peace of God. And I knew. Why? Because the previous 3 months she had spent shut in with God, and she was feeding her. She was beholding the face of Christ. She had been spending time reading Madame Guyon, Amy Carmichael, Fenelon, and a number of books that she'd asked, Dad, what books can I read to bless my soul? I just want to get to know Jesus more. And folks, that metamorphosis had happened. And the ministry she had, everyone she talked to, she ministered. Even when people came up to the casket and said, what a cruel thing. She said, no, don't. And words said, don't accuse God of being cruel. It's not cruel. God knows what He's doing. There was a peace that passes understanding. I talked to Debbie last night on the phone there in Florida. She said, Dad, I can't explain to you the peace that we have. It's incredible. Oh, yeah, we cry. There are times of sorrow, but there's a peace, and there's a rest, and there's a strength. In the last hour, as we gathered around the bed, she was breathing her last breaths. We were all holding hands and singing, God is so good. God is so good. And in that moment, I'm telling you, we felt the power of the prayers of saints of God. It was just as real as the breath we were breathing. I want to make a statement. I'm going to make it very boldly, and I'm telling you, I can back it up with everything in this book. Listen closely. All suffering in the life of a righteous child of God is a call to ministry. I'm going to say it again. All suffering, all pain, all trial that comes to the life of a true child of God is a call to ministry. Because he said, what he's saying, I have God's promise that He's going to be my enabler to be faithful through it all. And the Greek word there, enabler, is a continuous supply of strength. What he's saying, not only did He tell me He's going to take me through great suffering, but He says, I'm going to give you more than sufficient strength. I'm going to give you everything you need to go through it. I'm going to enable you so that you can be faithful in this ministry. You will not be reproach. You will not give in. You're going to be the testimony.